Yo. And we are back for another Wednesday midweek review stream. Hope you guys all had a wonderful 4th of July if you celebrate that. Still hurting a little bit, not gonna lie, but had some good time with friends and family. Yo, Jonathan, what's up? Yes. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Shake, what's good? Let me get my the set going that I want to play tonight. We're listening to a Marcus Scholes Sunrise set, so we'll see how that is. You can let me know if the audio is too loud, too quiet, but we'll jump straight into the charts in a sec. Let me just quick fix something with chat box. Alright. Let's go. Alrighty. So, looking at BTC here first, like we normally do. Let me quick. Where's the music? Alright, look, I think it's just the intro section. Alright, should be fine. So yeah, BTC, we'll actually look at it on the monthly, and then dive into weekly and daily. Let me quick speed up a little bit. There we go. I don't need him talking while I'm talking, but yeah, we have this, as you can see, on monthly. Took liquidity from down here in that fair value gap from 14 to 17k roughly. We fulfilled this one. We have this monthly FEG above, which to me is like the high time frame draw of liquidity. Not sure when we're actually going to go into it. I could definitely see us pushing down a bit on the monthly. I mean, I really hope we don't get too much downside. If they wanted to close the gap here, it would need to go to about 29.8, give or take. So about like $500-600 down. Nothing huge. Confirmation highs for not that, but we did start the month with a nice little spike up to about 31.4. We were not able to take out previous monthly high yet, but again, I'm still expecting this to get a push higher. You do have FOMC in about an hour and 57 minutes, so that'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. Tomorrow's also non-farm employment change. All right, so there's stuff on both tomorrow and Friday in terms of that. There's job openings from Jolt. There's a bunch of different news this week. It's also a new quarter. So actually, let me look at BTC on a clean chart for a sec, just so we can talk about some of that stuff. Let's see. I guess I'll just use like the all-time historical index. Alright, so monthly, again, I still think the draw is higher to roughly like 32k, but again, we could retrace, come back down here. Let me look at it on the quarterly time frame, so that'd be 3 months. Alright. Hey Jay, how you doing, man? So quarterly, we had a strong close here. The full fill of this would be about 33k, and you do have a fair value gap below between 24 and 21k. So that would be a potential point of interest for longs should we come down that far in potentially like weeks or months. But realistically, even the weekly looks really nice here. Let me get my 200 EMA. We are above the 200 EMA. We do still have that buy side liquidity level, which is basically where the monthly FEG is. This held this weekly FEG really nicely. There is another weekly FEG here now. So potentially that low from last week, so 29.4, that could provide a reaction. I am still in a swing long for about like almost 2 weeks now. I think 2 Wednesdays ago I think I took it. I'm still waiting for it to play out, kind of. As you can see, I keep updating the chart or dragging the chart over, but yeah, this has been quite the trade. Hopefully, I'm hoping we get some resolution soon, like quick up move. I have stops at break even, but we'll see what happens. I know on Binance we have relative equal lows. On BitGet though, you did take the low, which is interesting to note. So that would be nice to see that kind of come up and take this liquidity. I'm not sure how far up we'll push after going into 32k, but that's like my high time frame draw. So if we do get some sort of retracement further down into 28, 29K, I would potentially be looking for longs back up to 32K. Alright, so that's BTC. In terms of like what we're doing here, it's pretty much just sideways ranging. You have relative equal lows now, so maybe that gets swept during FOMC. You have an H4 FEG here, could find a reaction from, so maybe we push up and then look for shorts, but again, I'm hopefully looking for some bullish price action to send us higher. ETH, on the other hand, is doing all right. Definitely not. It had a couple days of nice performance here. I'm still looking for this. I know I've seen some people post this as a market maker buy model, with this being the original consolidation. So that would be nice to see it eventually come up and push that. I think, again, if BTC goes for 32K, this will likely follow. I'm still looking for this high time frame bearish bat harmonic. And realistically, I mean, like right here, as long as we're holding this, well, we did, I think, close below it. So yeah, not the most bullish scenario here, but again, could take the lows and then rally. But this is kind of just a chop zone between probably like 18, 25, and of roughly 2K. So hopefully that will get some expansion sooner than later, but going to ETH to BTC, which I think will provide a clear insight into ETH. I'm still waiting for lower with this pattern completion zone. Yo, Sushil, what's up? So I do want to see another leg down. BTC will probably outperform then, and then from there I'd like to see ETH eventually get its time to shine until we take out this weekly fair value gap above. Alright, so high time frame, still think BTC is taking the lead. ETH will eventually follow and have its time to run, but for now we are simply just holding on to this fixed range volume profile, like the value area low, for dear life. But again, I think we'll see that expansion lower when BTC finally does kind of launch. And then I think alts and everything will bleed out a little bit, and then they'll get their time to pump. So I think definitely like short alts, long BTC for the time being. We'll take a look at some other alts in a few minutes. I do want to run through indices and some forex stuff before we jump into those alts. But yeah, I'm just enjoying some nice iced coffee today. Hopefully the background noise isn't too loud. I have my air conditioning on. Sometimes I turn it off for streams, but it's really hot out, so I'd prefer to just keep it on today. Alright, so US 500 or ES, whatever you want to call it. There is another chart I think I posted on this too. I don't know, I think it was on the Pepperstone chart. Yeah, I could see this. I posted it on Twitter, a little clickbaity, but I could totally see this playing out as a big bullish bat. I mean, obviously, if you take out that's kind of invalidated, but you do have a weekly volume imbalance, a weekly fair value gap that are untaken. But really, you need some closure below the 200 EMA, not something like this, like actually, and then displace from it. So until then, I'm pretty bullish on indices. They look great. Let's go back to our clean chart. We are above like the true yearly open. It's a new month. Technically, let me check something real quick, because I think Dave posted about it not too long ago with the different stuff. So I want to just make sure I have this correctly. Give me one sec. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so true monthly open would be Monday of the second full week's open. So that would be next Monday. So we're not going to worry about that. True week opens Tuesday open. So if we're looking at this, that's going to be the midnight open for Tuesday. So this week that would be, let's go down to the hourly. A lot of consolidation here. But we also did have 4th of July and stuff. So Tuesday would be right here. Look at that. Look at how it reacts from that. So that's your true weekly open for this week. I'm sure this morning's true session open may provide some better. Let me get. It says that would be 7:30. So let's see. Yeah, look at that. All right, so that's your true session open, true weekly open. I could see, so this almost looks like a PO3 to me, accumulation, manipulation. So I think here, this fair value gap, and you may even get a retrace down here. Where's midnight open from? Yeah, sorry, it looks actually like it's up here. Yeah, so I think as long as you're below that today, I think longs are in favor. You do have some relative equal highs here, buy side liquidity. We are above the 200 EMA on M15 and some other time frames. Let's see. Yeah, but pretty much everything besides it's just closed below the M1, but the trend is good. So I think any sort of deviation maybe here could be potentially good for longs. I'm not trading this week. I took one trade on gold earlier in the week. It wasn't one I posted on Twitter or anything. It wasn't my setup. If you follow Rec Proof, he has a Forex and Indices type of Twitter. Where is it? This one. So it was this gold trade. I closed out pretty early. I closed at like 1927, but I got in at 1912, so I made like 5K, which was huge. And that was the only trade I wanted to take this week, really. I'll be back next week doing some more trading, doing some live trading sessions with NBA for Chroma, but otherwise I'm just wanting to sit out, like too much going on news-wise and stuff, so just kind of enjoying the time off, which is nice. But we are looking at some charts, so hopefully we can get a better understanding of where price may want to go from here. But yeah, we have a bunch of highs earlier in the week. Let's see, right now we're currently putting in a Wednesday low of the week. So if we're looking at like weekly profiles in that regards, let me get my statistics up. If we have a, let's see, sorry. If Wednesday low, Monday is the high, then 52% of the high time, or Friday is the high 45% of the time. So you do already, I think we have a Monday high profile as of right now, right? Friday, yeah, Monday. So, but I think it's going to expand higher. Look at this low volume imbalance. It's going to push up from. We did take some from this daily fair value gap. The H4 FEG got a nice reaction. So I mean, I could see another push down potentially to retest this 200 EMA on the H1, but I also wouldn't be surprised to just watch it rip higher. In terms of targets, it's a little tricky. We can look at ES. Maybe it'll have a slightly better idea of where we want to go from here. Yeah, because we filled this volume imbalance. Full fill of this FEG would be like 4,500, which isn't really, or weekly FEG. I'd probably be looking for that buy side liquidity levels, so just going back to our charts, that would be the one up here. Yeah, because we're already at, yeah. So that would be my next draw of liquidity if we are going to push higher. And I think for good reason. I mean, look, like, if I were to plan like a trade, I would be looking for some sort of potential maybe retest of this, and you could maybe buy here, stop below the low, and then look to add maybe on a retest of that area for like as a swing. But again, not trading this week. I'm just gonna let the markets do what they need to do, and we'll be back next week for trading. All right. I think it starts to look more likely we fall to 29K than reach that target. I could see that, Jay. Wait, what the heck happened with my, why does it say stay positive? Hold on. Did I like break my stream? Here we go. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. It looks like I had like a, I think a green background. I had the word stay positive. All of a sudden I look over to my stream thing. It's like taking up the whole screen. Sorry about that. 29K. I could see it. I mean, I really hope not, because that's going to stop me out. But, I mean, if we look at BTC more locally, like you have these relative equal lows. I feel like that's going to get taken today. But I think it'd be also funny kind of if we just took liquidity there. Low time frame. I'm sure you have some sort of break of structure. And then you flip this and push higher. It's a lot of low resistance highs. But yeah, we'll see what FOMC brings. I do think the potential for going to 29K is very real. In terms of like just playing the monthly open level, we are technically below it, so we'll have to see. NASDAQ, I'm not going to look too much at, because we've already kind of tapped into this like high time frame monthly fair value gap, just barely. So we could push up a little higher, especially if ES is going to push higher. I could see that. Where would I be looking? I mean, that's your internal liquidity. So external, you have a low here. We now have a low there. So maybe something where we go back up and fill more of this imbalance. We also took this external liquidity, and then it rebalanced inside of this daily FEG here. So I don't know. ES I have a better read on. This is not as clean for me, at least on the higher time frames on the weekly. But yeah, that sell side liquidity level would be an interesting pivot point. We have a volume imbalance here, but you did kind of tap into it on the next week, so I don't know. Indices could definitely like potentially rally for like all-time highs again, and that like lows in, markets go, and that's how it is. But we'll see. Heading over to Dixie. Excuse my chart. Looks like absolute mess. I think it's interesting to see that we are. So I was looking at this as like a sell model, but we've gotten a lot of almost like chop here, and I'm not a fan of it. We fulfilled the weekly FEG. NBA had a tweet that was actually kind of funny. I'll finally take it off, but kind of marked near the top. I'm hoping here that with FOMC, maybe you get like a further push up to this high, you get a raid, and then we come back down. But as long as you're above this H4 200 EMA, I'm decently bullish. Hold on one sec. Let me, there we go. Yeah, so as long as we're above the H4 200 EMA, I'm midterm bullish on Dixie. But we are still below the daily, so that would really have to flip in order for me to really start be looking for maybe these highs to get taken and maybe for it to push up here. But we still have a monthly FEG EQ and the sell side liquidity from here with relative equal lows. So that's kind of what I'm expecting the draw to be. We're also building up low resistance liquidity here, a lot of untaken highs or lows. So we'll see how the rest of the week plays out. I mean, again, a lot of news today, tomorrow, Friday. So just be careful. Make sure you're managing your positions, having stops, just so you're not liquidating your accounts. But yeah, I'm still looking for lower. Obviously, I think the line in the sand for me would be if you get a daily closure above this 200 EMA, or a daily closure and then like see how the next day is. But as long as it stays above this 200 EMA and this FEG, I would look for like these highs next, and then eventually this volume imbalance and monthly fair value gap. All right. But until that happens, I still am expecting a lower push down. Jumping over to some Forex. This one is, the read I had on this was perfect. Unfortunately, I closed my position a bit early just because I am getting paid out on my FTMO account, but I shorted from this weekly FEG. And as you can see, I was targeting this sell side liquidity. So this is on Euro against the British pound. So pound should be the stronger pair for the until we at least take the sell side liquidity. This would have been beautiful 5-hour play. I just ended up closing it a little bit early, but I'm ultimately still looking for roughly around 0.84, 844, yeah, 843, somewhere around there, for that 786 pattern completion zone for this Gartley. Once we hit there, I'll probably punt a swing long on this, targeting either the daily 200 EMA. You also have the weekly 200 EMA right there, which would be a good target. And yeah, those would probably be my short-term targets, and or like relative equal highs or some other internal imbalances. But this definitely looks good to continue lower. We're gonna probably take out that sell side liquidity today or tomorrow. Really nice read on this chart. So if you caught this move, congrats. Jumping over to now our euro and pound. Euro, we have, hold on, let me clean this up. This is a new week opening gap. It's from last week, but it's still being respected pretty well. This is last week's true week open. This is a weekly fair value gap. I'm expecting it probably to retrace a little bit further into it. Again, maybe get kind of like a 3 drives and then we take off. Pound, on the other hand, is more of a buy model, relative equal highs at buy side liquidity. So from there, that would be a great target for me, especially like look where you are. You're inside this weekly fair value gap. So if you get maybe like a push down today or tomorrow, that would probably be like, I think my first target probably be here. And then eventually you could swing it for up here. But looking at this, let's quick take a look just at some of the levels we're watching. On H1, you could also argue this is just a smaller buy model inside of it. But yeah, the thing here, you might come clean some of these lows and then push up. But we are holding above the EMAs, which is nice. Looking at this a little bit further, I'd also say, let's see. Again, pound's gonna outperform the euro, so definitely the more favored one's long. This actually isn't in a bad spot either. I just don't trade outside of kill zones, so this, like, it's New York lunch right now, and I'm not trading this week. But let's plot our true weekly open. So that would be right there, right? Yep. Yeah. So that's kind of, any deviation below it I think is a good place to look for longs, as long as you still hold a bearish bias on Dixie. But should we get different data, then you can obviously adjust accordingly. Let's see, midnight open. Oops, is right there. Yeah, look at that. Didn't even close the H1 below it. Really nice stuff from this. This could actually just be like a local little pivot point and we could push, but again, not looking to really gamble. But that would be like the move I think here. You could probably. The only thing is like with like I don't even know how I would trade it because I don't know how the news is gonna be. You might get some big whiplash wicks and take out your entries or your stops before running to target. So I'd probably wait till after news to position. And again, that's in an hour and a half today. So just keep your eyes peeled. But yeah, GU definitely looks a bit better than Euro. I think for upside, Euro's a kind of a little weaker looking. But again, we've talked about that overall high time frame bias on Euro to pound. This could retrace a bit, so maybe pound or Euro will get some time to catch up. But yeah, until we take sell side liquidity, I think pound will be outperforming in the midterm. Jumping over to some crypto, we'll take a look at APT. has actually reacted extremely well from this pattern completion zone of this scuffed bat slash Gartley. However, until you flip long this pullback around 29k for weekend pump and then short again, yep, sounds good. Yeah, until you can get back that, because I like that more as a channel, and even that too. It's kind of like little range here, but until we can get back above, I would say $8, I expect it just to kind of consolidate. Maybe you get another push down for confirmation low, and that could be the move to long up. This is definitely, it's not in a terrible spot, but obviously I think you could wait for lower to swing higher. But I think if crypto does start running, this one looks decent. We'll take a look at some other alts, Atom being one of them. Finally came back up to our position, like our swing long position entry. And then from there, it kind of retraced a little bit. Really, ideally, we want to see a close above this candle. Because anything less than that is kind of showing potentially we could come down. And I would be looking to add, if we get a confirmation low here, for a move higher. And that would probably be the last time I add to this position. But yeah, for now it doesn't look too great on the weekly. I mean, daily is mostly just yesterday and today. It's kind of just pushed back down. But yeah, and we are now below the 4-hour 200 EMA. So alts, I think, will definitely have their time, but I think this could very well come down for a confirmation low, take out some of these lows, and then we rally. Alright, so just keep that in the back of your mind. BNB cannot get back above 255. That is acting as heavy resistance in the market. Did take the high too. You have a bunch of lows right here, and I even think further back. Yeah, I have one here, so I definitely think that's gonna get nuked. Yo, Guru, what's good, my man? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, BNB is definitely one of the few alts that I think actually looks really good for shorts here. That would probably be like the key low I would be looking for, because we have all this built up liquidity in terms of lows here. Turn off the EMA, but yeah, took the high, rejecting from the ice line. It's not looking great. All right, so if you're looking for shorts, I'd say BNB's up there for one of the ones you could short. We already looked at BTC, Doge. We are still getting there. Hold on one sec. I'll just move this over so I can read that. I'm actually still off. I got a couple more weeks and then I'm back to the grind, but for now we're printing as much money as possible and doing some stuff in Discord and, you know, just enjoying the time off. So thank you. But yeah, Doge, we're still looking for lower. This left relative pretty much equal highs like right here. So that could be interesting in the future as a draw of liquidity. Or maybe even short term if BTC takes it up. Thank you, man. But ultimately, I still want to see this come down, suck up all this liquidity here, because it's just like a massive. Let me check it on monthly. Yeah, look at that. Monthly fair value gap. The EQ lines up almost perfectly with the pattern completion zone of this bearish, not bearish, bullish butterfly. But we still need to really close below 4.5 cents. But yeah, 2.5 cents is where I would look to DCA for a potential swing for maybe some of these highs up here. But again, this will take time, just like same thing with Atom. It's long-term play, just kind of being patient with it. All right, so Ethereum Classic. Let me get rid of this alert. We did finally, it looks actually had a really strong week last week. So if you were following when we broke that trend line, you probably caught, because yeah, again, this is all the way from up here back in 2021. So it is pretty substantial that we broke through there. But again, I wouldn't be surprised to see this kind of just sell off. This is not bullish in my opinion. If $18 holds, then maybe you get a pivot, but realistically, I would expect this to come down, fill some more of these inefficiencies. I think short-term target would be the sell side liquidity, and my invalidation would probably be right above these ice lines around $20.72. Yeah, everything on my watch list right now is red. Hopefully it's like a sell-off into a news-driven pump from FOMC, but we'll see what market makers want to do here. Ugh, I'm so tired. INJ has just been really actually performing pretty well, but obviously just kind of selling off this week with a lot of other alts. We took buy-side liquidity here. You do have a weekly fair value gap a bit lower down here. Maybe one forms here, so kind of wait to see what happens next. But it does still look good here. Like, you took the lows. You can almost play this, especially if you get like a nice weekly close, something like where it stays where it is now. You can almost play this as a unicorn setup, and probably what I would be looking for, something like this. Let's say like the weekly closes and you get that fair value gap. I would keep it super simple and literally just be targeting $10, or if you want to even go for like a fib extension, not like that one though. Hold on. Those are my standard deviations. Yeah, like 1125, 1190. Yo, Enger, what's up? So those would be like kind of targets for that. But BTC's got to behave, otherwise it's kind of dud. LDO, I honestly don't really like this chart. Like it's literally just such. I mean, you can see obviously it's downtrending, but it's just now you're kind of getting that like squeezing pattern. So we'll probably see expansion one way or the other sooner than later. I probably, if I had to bet, I would guess down first, but again, I think it's more so just gonna follow whatever BTC wants to do. Yeah, LDO is not one that I'm like crazy about. Mana, hanging on for dear life. Right. Don't want to lose 37 cents, otherwise you got some sell side liquidity targets down below, but that would be pretty bearish, I would say. Yeah, it's like 28% downside potentially. So just keep that in mind, especially with other alts too. Like Sir one nuke, I hope not. I don't want a nuke. I need 32k, please. Matic, not really. Kind of underperforming from its BCZ. Near. Render is interesting though. Render, we did hit that PCZ of the bearish bat perfectly, reacted, sold off. So now at this point I'm just waiting for a bit lower into this weekly fair value gap for this pattern completion zone of this bullish cipher, and then from there I'd be looking for longs up to relative equal highs. So this one actually is one of the few alts I do like as well. I think there's a lot of potential here. I just got to kind of be patient and wait for those lows here to get taken out. Sol, we kind of are following the plan so far. Again, this is another alt that I do really like. You have the butterfly into the Gartley, and kind of I'd like to see at least like a rate of this low, or some sort of maybe even like a 1-2, like a 3 rising valleys type deal. But you have a lot of higher upside targets. I think downside risk is pretty minimal. Like, or at least like my hard stop would be here. But honestly, I don't think I'd want to see $12 get taken again. But I could see potentially with news like a wick down. So maybe that might be like if we did get some sort of higher time frame move or something like that. Euro MXN again. Yeah, we can take a look at it. Do I trade only harmonics? No, I trade harmonics and price action. So like ICT mixed with harmonics, whatever you want to call it. And like ranges, rec proof style stuff, a little volume profiles, but mainly harmonics is more for like high time frame bias. Yeah, we can look at Euro MXN. I know we checked that out, I think last stream. So, and you can see I marked it up last stream. So far, this is playing out really nicely according to what we talked about last time. So last week we looked at it. We were looking, I think it was on Wednesday, so it was like somewhere up here. I was looking for sell side liquidity to get taken, which it now has. This is inside a monthly fair value gap. So realistically, what you want to see here is some sort of structure shift, probably at least on like the daily, and then I would be looking for longs up to this buy side liquidity, potentially some of these other ones, but there is other key levels. 1911, yeah, no, if you gold, I think will definitely pump. You just gotta be a little patient with it. I was long on that as well, but mine was just quick in and out one day. But I do like rec boost trade a lot, and I'll mark it up in a minute. But yeah, Euro to MXN, just kind of finish up this analysis because I don't want to spend too much time on it, but kind of looking for that sort of structure shift to look to get higher. I do like the fact that you're not really taking these lows or highs, so they could be good liquidity targets on the way up. Alright. But I am still bearish until you get some sort of daily shift in the very least. Alright. Gold. No problem, man. Alright, so gold we have, if I remember how, I think rec proof did it something like this. Alright, so that would be your range. Oops. We do have, the only thing that I'm not like as super crazy about with this is we do have a volume imbalance down here on weekly, but that could, again, it might not get filled right now, maybe later. However, until you get really a closure back inside here, I'm a little cautious, right? Because you do have this buy side liquidity target. When I took that trade the other day, I got in at 1912, so it was like right over here, and then I caught the move up to about 27 on one lot, and then two lots I think I closed out at around 29, because it was in the 2 to 2.5 standard deviations of this local move here, because again, when you drag these out, you want to use from the high and the low that took the liquidity before reversing, so kind of basically where your market structure shift would be. But as you can see, we did finally get a little closure above it, but even on like the hourly, it's just been rating it. So I'm not so sure this is like gonna push up yet, but we are holding the previous week's new week opening gap as support. So again, in time, like if we can get back up above like 1930 and get like a nice daily closure back inside this range, I think that's a great opportunity to look for a move higher towards these highs. I'll probably be looking to swing it next week. I'm just staying out of the markets for now, though. But yeah, this doesn't look too bad. It's just that it's not in the best spot, I don't think, too long. I'd either wait for a move lower. You trade shitcoins? Yeah, there's a lot of them. But yeah, I'd definitely be waiting for a move lower to potentially get in, maybe at like this H4OB, or in this fair value gap, because we did leave, if you look here, or no, actually no, it did tap into it, just barely. There's a fair value gap, but no, you got this, man. Yeah. I don't know. I could see it push back down though for more of a fill because it was not the didn't really take a lot of liquidity, but until you get back above 1930 though, I just would be cautious with longs. Not to say that I don't see this playing out, but if you're in from 1911, just leave it alone. Maybe if you want, you can move stops to break even, because really, I wouldn't want to see it go below, like get a closure below like 1916 where that order block is. That's just how I would play it. Alright. Happy to also now turn to chat if you guys have any other requests or want anything looked at. We kind of ran through what I usually look at. I am a bit exhausted, so I don't mind wrapping things up a little early today, but I want to see if anybody has any other tickers or anything they want checked out before I skedaddle. 1895 stop loss. Let me quick go back. I'm sure, like, see, my thing is though, like, once you've now had these, like, okay, so you said your stop loss 1895, which is cool, like, this is down here, but you've now had this, like, H1 market structure break here, H1 market structure break here. Now you're rating this high. So if you get, like, a closure below, like, 1919, you're probably shifting structure order flow. So me personally, did you do the Dixie? Yeah, I did it before, if you rewind a little bit. But overall sentiment is, I'm a little iffy on it. It is kind of just consolidating right now. Probably wait till see what FOMC and NFP gives. But I am still high time frame bearish in the like midterm. All right. But yeah, in finishing up what we were talking about, gold. I think personally, I'd probably move stops up at this point, because if it really starts breaking down here, I wouldn't want to be losing out, especially after you've already had the more major move up. You don't really have any daily or value gaps. So you have this little H4 one, which I believe we said it barely. Oh, it did tap into a good bit. So yeah, like here really it should, like, I wouldn't want to see it start doing this, because then it's going to go lower to sell side liquidity here. But as long as it stays above here, we can look for maybe something like that. All right. Still bearish on high time frame, 22K. That's a pipe dream, in my opinion. I don't know if we'll ever see those. Like I used to think like, oh, we're going to 10K, oh this that, but like more time goes by, the more we're pushing up. I think bottom could be in, but I've just been DCing all year, so I'm not really too concerned one way or the other. I'm just kind of, the only thing I really would like to see is this trade play out, because it's 20R. Right. But I gotta be a little more patient for this. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get it. I might get break even. But yeah. If no one has any other questions, comments, concerns, I think we'll wrap it up there for today. I need to catch up on some sleep. And hopefully it just gave you a general sentiment for the markets and what is to come. Hopefully, I think next week will be a little bit more interesting. Sold 80%, not bad, not bad. Yeah, I think next week, if I quick look on the news calendar, no news Monday or Tuesday for US. We have CPI on Wednesday, that's fine. Thursday's PPI. Yeah, so next week should be like a good trading week. Yeah, I'm steering clear for the rest of this week. I made a ton of money on Monday, so that's about it. Alrighty. One example of a breakup structure? Sure. So typically, I think like some of the best ways to look at like a breakup structure is when you have it after a raid. I think it's easiest to follow it there. So if we're looking at, let's say, BTC H4, right? So you have like your raid, and then the last low before like the high, or at least on this time frame, would be here. That would be your break-in structure. Obviously, if I go down to like M15, I'm sure there's one way earlier. Yeah, like M15, we go here. You could even argue that this was like a raid here, from that high to there, and then you're there's no real swing low there. It would probably, it's probably, yeah, that would technically be it. M5 might give you a better one. Yeah, so this would be like a M5 break of structure here, because again, that's the last swing low before your high was put in. And then you can see this would be your shift in trend, and M15 would have provided like a potential entry. Well, there's no real failure value gap on M15. There's like one here, but not the best looking scenario. H1. No, you'd probably be better off just playing like an order block in that scenario, but yeah, I think M5 was pretty clean up here. That would be like a raid and then a break of structure. Obviously, if you took out this high, like with this one, it would be another raid, and I'd probably look for a low in here. You could argue even that this would be the low because it's a swing point. But there was no raid there, so I would be doing it from this low. If you also have trouble identifying it, there's a great indicator called Wicked Fractals that if you put it on, it pretty much shows you where swing highs and lows are. So it's a great way to help with identifying where you would look for the market structure breaks. Alright, so hopefully that helps. Alrighty, we're going to wrap it up there. BTC is at 30,418. We have news in about an hour and 10 minutes, FOMC, so just be careful, make sure you are sizing correctly, stops on your positions, and have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you next week. Peace.